Hello, everybody. Welcome to Entrepreneurs International Network, our weekly training where we bring to all of you entrepreneurs amazing leaders and experts in a variety of different areas that can really help like elevate and take your business to the next level. And our speaker here today is just a very, very special person that not only is going to put a smile on your face, but it's going to bring some tremendous wisdom into your world, especially around speaking. So if you're a speaker or aspire to be a speaker, then what you're going to learn here today is definitely going to elevate that in your business. My name is Robert Evans. I'm co-founder of a technology company called Action Era. Action Era is the parent company of Entrepreneur International Network. And every once in a while I get to come on here and host this. Iman Agai is the creator of EIN, and Becky here, who you see on camera, is the amazing person that makes all of this happen and organizes everything and all that sort of thing. So let me I'm going to give you two different bios. I'm going to give you the official bio, and then I'm going to tell you my personal bio of this amazing person that is here today. We get to introduce you to the amazing Monique McDonald. Monique McDonald is an award-winning, Grammy-nominated opera singer, international speaker, and life coach. Through her MasterMind and signature courses, Monique inspires speakers and entrepreneurs to create their signature talk, unleash their stage presence, and turn their voice into a superpower. Now, speaking of superpowers and super people, Monique McDonald, in my experience, in my world, is one of the most loving, most present, most amazing people that just captures anybody that she speaks to one on one, and definitely captures the audience when she speaks on stage. She has been a part of our world for many, many, many years. She often MCs our events, but she's gotten so busy with her work that it's been harder to get her to MC her event, which is a good sign, by the way. And I get the pleasure of every once in a while seeing Monique in person, and she's got the absolute best hugs on the planet, people. If you ever get hugged by Monique, you have definitely entered into a very special world. It's just the love. I just want to say the love. She absolutely cares about everybody and what they get from what she has to offer. So I really love to bring Monique onto the spotlight right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Monique McDonald. Hi, Monique. Welcome.
Hi, Robert. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. I am moved and grateful and so excited to be here. Thank you, Becky, for all the things you do in the background to make things happen around here. And thank you, all of you, for showing up today. I am thrilled to be here and to talk about my favorite thing that I get to talk about. And that is about visibility and um, speaking and how they go hand in hand, and the three secrets that every speaker must know. So I welcome all of you to this moment. So I'm going to invite you to sit up in your chair and show up with cameras on because I'm excited to play with you. So I need to see your beautiful faces. I'm going to be doing some screen sharing and some presence sharing. So here we go. We're going to start with screen share. Let's see if I can push the right buttons. I think I can. I think I can. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so how are we going to turn visibility into paying clients? And what are the secrets? The three most important secrets that every speaker should know. Um, that photograph is of me making my entrance in the role of Tosca. It was my first time singing Italian opera in Italy. I was in Bologna in one of the oldest opera houses in existence. And it was one of those magical experiences where the theater actually loved up my voice so that when I was singing, the theater itself was answering me back. It was an incredible moment for me. And I was feeling very, very visible. And it led to some really amazing experiences that I'll share with you a little bit later. Okay, so once upon a time, when I was a little girl, I had my first experience of the power of the human voice. My mom, who was for me my everything, I'm an only child, and she was my best friend and my mommy, my everything, had been invited to sing at Columbia University here in New York City at the chapel there. And usually she would have a babysitter come and take care of me when she had to go sing, but this time she couldn't find anybody. So I got to go. And I walked into this chapel, and this chapel had this huge dome. And I broke away from whoever was supposed to be watching me. I was probably about 6 years old, and I ran up to the top of the dome and I looked down, and there was my beautiful mother, and she started to sing. And something amazing happened to me. And I didn't know what it was. But that person that was my mother, that I knew as my mother, all of a sudden turned into this creature of light and sound. And the vibration of her voice started vibrating my little body. I didn't even know what was happening to me, but I was truly changed. Life as I knew it completely changed. And it scared me, but it excited me at the same time. And that was my first experience of the power of the human voice. I ran down after the concert and elbowed my way in through the crowd. She was signing autographs, and I pulled on her dress and I said, "Are you still my mommy?" And she smiled down at me and she said, "Of course I'm your mommy." She had literally changed. And this amazing woman turned out to be the greatest influence on my life. I don't know if you've ever had someone who believed in you more than you believed in yourself, but that was my mom for me. And she was with me every step of the way in my own career. Before there was Zoom, there was Skype, and I was working in Europe building my career, and she was there to warm me up every before every performance. And when we would finish the warm up, the last thing she would say is, "And remember, when you sing, God smiles." And what I understood from that was that when we carry a message into the world, when we carry that message with all of our heart and all of our passion and all of our voice, the entire universe smiles because we are working in partnership with all that is to wake people up to a new way of being in the world. And the rest of the story goes a little bit like this. I went on to sing on some of the greatest stages of the world. I've sung for kings and princes. I've sung at Carnegie Hall. I was living my dream. And one day I got a call that my mom had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and had 6 months to live. And life as I knew it changed. I was completely lost. I didn't know who I was or why I was here anymore. I stopped singing at that point. I just didn't want to do it without my best partner and the one who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And I was broken and lost for quite some time until one day I was flipping through Netflix, which was my drug of choice at the time, grieving like crazy. Uh, and I came across Tony Robbins' documentary, I'm Not Your Guru. And two things happened to me that day. The first was that I found out that Tony Robbins has a training center where he trains people to do what he does, the specific kind of coaching that he does, which is called uh, strategic intervention. It's about pattern interrupt. So it's a very unique way of coaching, and I signed up right away for the training because I mean it was Tony Robbins. I saw what he was doing. And the other thing that happened was I realized that Tony had lost his voice and was having a lot of trouble being on stage and speaking because no one had ever taught him how to speak according to the laws of nature. So he had vocal exercises that I saw him doing in the documentary, and I thought to myself, okay, that's good. That's good information. But I have better information. I'm trained as an opera singer, and I can fill a theater that seats 1,000 or more with my own voice with no microphone. I know how the voice works. And then it occurred to me, what if I get to the next Tony Robbins or the person with the next big idea? And I teach them how to speak according to the laws of nature, how to align their voice to their power and their message, so that when they speak, people listen. And my friends, that got me out of bed. And I started on this journey that has brought me here to be with you today. I came across some amazing mentors, one of which was Imanagai, and I learned all about being an entrepreneur. And I'll just tell you one of the scariest things that continues to scare me, and I'm guessing it might scare some of you as well. Because of my training as a classical singer, one of the things I was taught was this whole concept of build the plane while you fly it. In other words, get out and speak, get out and be seen and heard. And that action, taking action and getting out into the world and sharing your expertise is going to help you build your plane or your business and help you learn what your people need and want and who they can become and what they can achieve by being with you. And it turns into this amazing energy exchange. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later. But that is why I am here with you today. And that is why I am so passionate. I am on a mission to empower 100,000 voices, and I can't do it alone. I need your help. So, today we're going to be talking about visibility. It's it's the thing that I believe most trainers and speakers miss. We all say we want visibility. but we resist it. And I want to share this with you. I hope it's good news. We it's our biology. So if you find that you're doing all the things to get visible that all your mentors have told you to do, and you're still feeling resistant to it, or you're having trouble getting it done, or you do it and it doesn't turn out the way you think it should, and you sort of run back and hide, there's a reason for that. It's your biology. The most dangerous place to be is apart from the herd, right? Why would anyone get up, stand up in front of a crowd, and be visible where you could be criticized, you could be made fun of? And for a lot of us, the person that makes the most fun of us and is the most critical is ourselves. So I hope this will bring you some comfort to know there is an actual reason why you resist it. It's not just do more, force it, and you'll find it. No, there is actual, there's steps that need to be taken to prepare to be seen and heard that most people aren't even aware of. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. But before I move into that, I just want to see, are you with me? Put yes in the chat if you're with me. If you know what I'm talking about this visibility that sometimes gets in the way, that you know you have to be visible to build your business, and then all this stuff comes and you sort of back up from it. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. So I want you to just love yourself up and know there's a reason. It's literally in your biology. Your body has a reaction to it. So, we're going to talk about what are some things that we can do to prepare to be seen and heard so that it gets easier. They are called my ABCs of magnetism. So put yes in the chat if you'd like to hear what my ABCs of magnetism are. We'll start at the very beginning. Okay. All right. So here are my ABCs of magnetism. Letter A. Adjust your thoughts. Now, most people don't realize that we get to decide what we think. It sounds so simple, but most of us are walking around feeling victim to what we're thinking. All of a sudden, you're in the middle of a presentation and this thought comes up like, oh, that was terrible. Who are you? Who do you think you are to be standing up there? Or, name the thought that comes in. I call it the thought invades you when you're going along, being yourself and doing your best. And then it takes your attention away and we get a little grayer. We withdraw a little bit from the present moment because we become inundated with these thoughts, and we have it takes sometimes a lot of effort to bring ourselves back to the moment. So here's what is true that most people don't realize is that you decide what you think. Whenever one of those thoughts come, you get to pause and adjust your thoughts. I'm sure some of you have heard about energetics and magnetics and vibration, and that we have to be in a certain frame of mind in order to be attractive to our ideal clients. So that's what we're talking about on a very simple level, right? What we think people can feel. We are transmitters of energy. That's what we do. We're receivers of energy and we're transmitters of energy. And so, this little adjustment, this little trick of what am I going to think that's going to make me feel the safest, the most powerfully engaging and captivating? What are the thoughts that make me feel a certain way so that when I show up to the moment, I'm my very best thought? I'm my very best, my very best thought. That was funny. My very best self because of the thoughts that I'm thinking, right? They go hand in hand. So, in my research and in my working with clients, what I discovered, and in my own life, there are three thoughts that help most people feel the most powerful. The first one, which is what I always do before every presentation, I did it today. I sent love into this Zoom room for all of you, right? So I didn't know who was going to show up, but I filled the room with love so that when I entered, I met love. And I don't know if you heard Robert's introduction, that was even more love that I got that I wasn't expecting. And so when I am thinking about filling a room with love or sending love out in front of me wherever I go, so that I'm always walking into love, that empowers me. The second thought that is the most powerful is gratitude. Gratitude. I know these are things that you know already, but it's the practice of it. In fact, it was Iman Guy that explained to me that when you think thoughts of gratitude and experience it as though it's happening right now, that you're very grateful. For example, in this moment, I'm grateful that Betty just turned her camera on so that I can see her shining face, right? Those feelings of gratitude light up the same areas of our brain as success. So, the more you train yourself to experience gratitude and think thoughts of gratitude, the more you're practicing success. Isn't that cool? Yay! And the third is being of service. So often, as speakers, when we show up to the moment, we're terrified or at least slightly worried about how it's going to be received. We're worried that we're going to be good enough, that we're going to say the right things, that our content's going to be good. I was having a moment about my slides. Are my slides going to be good enough? Right? Whatever it is, but we're not always focused on being of service. And one of the things that helps me with that is when I think things like this. What if there's even one person who I see today because I showed up in this moment whose life will change? Their perception of life will change so that they will feel more empowered. They will feel more gratitude. They will feel more love. And then all of a sudden, the focus is not on me. And if I'm good enough, the focus is about you and what's possible for you. Okay? So, ABCs of magnetism. A, adjust your thoughts. B, breathe. Another little simple thing that people don't realize is one of your most powerful tools in your toolbox. Have you ever noticed that when you get scared or you're working very hard to explain something to your spouse or your children, you stop breathing. All of a sudden, you finish whatever you needed to say, and then you go, it's because you were holding your breath. And that's what happens to us in times of stress. When we are being seen and heard, we tend to stop breathing. When we're trying to get the content out and be entertaining and fantastic, even if it's good stuff that's happening, sometimes we stop breathing. So, to prepare to be seen and heard, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to be still and watch your belly breathe. The other advantages of this are taking a deep belly breath lets your nervous system know that you are safe. And it releases the tension and the fear and the anxiety just sheerly by watching your breath, because it takes your attention off of, oh my God, I'm so nervous, to all is well. I'm alive. I'm breathing. So if you're willing, let's take a few deep breaths together. How's that sound? Good? Okay. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if that makes sense. And just bring your conscious attention to the deepest, most sacred part of you. And allow yourself to inhale into that space within you where all is well. And watch your belly open and fill with the life force. And now gently watch your stomach fall back towards the spine as you exhale. And now release whatever muscles tensed up during the exhale and breathe even deeper into yourself, allowing everything to release and relax down. Pause for a moment, full of the life force. Know yourself as full of life and safe. And then gently exhale. And one more time for the power of 3. Release everything that tightened and inhale. Pause for a moment. Know yourself as full of the life force, full of all there is. Everything you need is right here. And then gently exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and just come back to this moment. Welcome back. Go ahead and put in the chat if you notice any difference about where you were before we breathed and where you are now. Calmer, much more present. Yay. And things slowed down a little bit, right? And one of the things that I notice with my clients, yes, Roxy, more centered. And another way I would put it is more yourself. Okay, now, thank you for playing. We're going to go now to C of the ABCs of magnetism. Thank you, Mbala. Stabilized. Yes. Isn't this where you want to speak from? Yes. This is where I call neutral, where you are most fully yourself. And C is the next deepest step. And that is connect to the natural magnet that is you. Connect to the place within you where you hold the vision for your audience, your potential clients, whether you're speaking one to one or one to many. That sacred space within you that has the vision of who they can become and what they can achieve after they've been through your talk, after they've heard your message, after you've taught them whatever is yours to teach. And when you put these three things together in your life before your presentations, you'll be surprised. You'll be speaking from a different place within you. You'll be holding space for possibility in a way that seems very simple, but is so powerful. What most of us forget, especially in the time in which we're living right now, is the power of attention. There's so many distractions. There's so much information. There's so much going on, so many emails, so many courses, so many things that it's become a precious commodity, attention and presence. And that, my friends, is what you have all the time. I remember I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was going into what was going on with him that was causing him a lot of pain. And he was really going deep and talking about it. And at one point he looked up at me and he said, "You're so quiet." And I looked at him and I said, "I'm listening to you." And he shared with me that no one gives him undivided attention. I, I was I was shocked, but that is what we're all about here. If you're a speaker and you're using speaking to grow your business, this is the rub, my friends. This is going to put you into a category that's different than all the other speakers because your audience will feel heard and seen because you've done what's necessary for you to do so that you can be seen and heard. You with me? Yes? Okay. My third secret for all of you is the number one call to action ninja move. Who would like to hear the number one call to action ninja move? Put yes in the chat. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so here's the thing, and I have to tell you this. I I want to thank my beautiful client. I won't say her name, but let's all just give some thanks to Monique's amazing client who brought me to this truth because it was one of those moments. Remember when I was talking about building the plane while you fly it? It was one of those moments where I was building my content and I was teaching all the things that I wanted to teach. And call to action magic was born. And I wanted to share with people how to really do the call to action. And we had been working on her talk, and it was one of the few times where I got to sit in on a talk that we had worked on. Usually I'm busy and can't make it, but this time at this point I was able to be there and watch her. And my friends, we had created this amazing signature talk for her. And it was all about her stories and the things that she felt the most passionate about teaching. And she was rocking her talk. It was reminded me of that moment when I was watching my mom and she turned into this creature of sound and vibration, right? She was in it. And then we got to the call to action. And it was very subtle, my friends, but she backed away from the moment ever so slightly. And she did it. She made the call to action, but there was a disconnect. And I felt it in the room. And I know that the people in the audience were with her. And if she could have stayed in the moment, would have been with her to the very end and bought whatever she was selling, would have said yes to whatever invitation she gave. But there was an imperceptible checking out. So, the number one call to action ninja move. Are you ready? Don't leave the scene, people. Do not leave the scene. This is where your potential client needs you the most. And this is where most of us get into our heads and our stories about asking for money. Oh my God, is it valuable? I shouldn't have charged as much as whatever it is that you charged for whatever you're inviting people into. We leave and get into our heads. Now, I want you to raise your right hand and promise me from this day forward, you are going to stay and breathe and hold space for your potential client. Thank you. Thank you for making that commitment, because this is where they need you the most. This is where they have to dig within themselves to find out if they're courageous enough to invest in themselves, if they're courageous enough to step into change, if they're courageous enough to take the next steps into their greatness and who they are meant to be in the world. And they need you. They need you. Yes? Are you with me? All right, my friends. I think I'm almost out of time. So I want to share with you the my little formula that I think is kind of fabulous, that combines the elements of everything I was just talking about. Okay, let's see. My PowerPoint is not cooperating. Okay, here we go. All righty, here we go. Here is the magnetic voice formula. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, number one, mastering that inner voice, that stuff, that inner work that prepares you to be seen and heard, finding your own rituals and thoughts that make you feel powerful, managing that inner voice, those inner thoughts that might be invading you. Okay? That's number one. Number two, handling the fear factor. And by fear, I mean all the things that your beautiful brain can come up with to be afraid of in order to stay hidden and safe and not seen and heard. Imposter syndrome, confidence, PowerPoint. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have my tech in place. All the things that your mind will come up with to keep you stuck and safe. Did you know stuck and safe are the same sometimes? Just food for thought. Okay, number three, how to align your voice to your message so that you are always in congruence, so that the energy that's emitting from you is matching what your voice is doing and how you're showing up in your presence. Does that make sense? Yes? Awesome. Audience engagement. How are you going to keep your audience engaged for an hour or 20 minutes? How are you going to do that? I'll tell you my number one tip: make them smile, get them laughing. Laugh at yourself. You don't have to be a comedian. Just just be funny, because life is funny and we have to laugh at ourselves. Yeah? And then, of course, call to action magic. And this is the formula that I take my clients through that brings them the income and the impact that they're looking for. So, would you like some good news? Who would like some good news? Dun, 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 dun. Put yes in the chat. Yes. Good news, good news. Each one of you within the sound of my voice is going to get a complimentary ticket to my amazing event that is happening in July. It is called Crescendo. Take your speaking to new heights. And we are going to cover all of the things we just discussed and oh, so much more. In fact, you are going to walk away from that 3-day event with an outline for your signature talk. And what I mean by a signature talk is your talk that showcases you at your best call to action, your best stories, your best teaching points, your message to the world. Each one of us may be speaking on the same topic or similar topics, but because of your life experience and who you are, your talk is going to be like your signature, yours alone. And that's just one of the things we're going to do. And because I love Iman and Robert so much, and July's kind of far away, I am also inviting you to the Magnetic Speaker Masterclass series. So each month until the event, so the next one is going to be on the, I don't have all the dates right now, but every month from now, it's going to be, I'm going to get you the dates as soon as you sign up for the ticket to the event. You're going to get the dates because my assistant and I are having a little discussion about what would be the best dates. So we're going to take care of that today. So you'll have all the dates. But the first series, the first masterclass is going to be Discover Your Magnetic Voice. And it's very hands-on. We're going to be talking about you and your voice and how to make it magnetic for you so that you can attract your ideal clients like a magnet. And then the next month, we're going to have a masterclass on call to action magic formula. We're going to work on your call to action and how to put you into it so that you don't leave the scene and you stay with your potential clients. And then finally, the last one is going to be Reclaim Your Voice of Power. And that's going to be all about those limiting beliefs, those times in the past where you gave up your voice to another. We're going to reclaim that beautiful voice of yours. And that's going to get you so much ready for crescendo. You're going to be rocking it and go even further, faster in those 3 days. Does that sound good? Are you excited? I'm excited for you. All right, my friends. I think we dropped into the chat the link. Yes. You're all invited. I can't wait to share with you and watch you bloom and see you, your content, your passion, power, and your voice turn into the beautiful magnificence that you are. Thank you for listening.
I love it. Thank you very much. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Monique. We actually have a little bit of time left. Does anybody have any questions or would like to share anything with Monique? If you do,
Yes.
you could raise your hand and we'd be happy to take that. Uh, and make sure you go into the chat and click on that link to get those two gifts. Very generous of you. So you guys get it now. You guys get it now. I know there are a couple people on here that already know Monique. They're like, we love Monique, but this is why we love her so much. You're amazing, Monique.
Thank
Uh,
you.
all right, check in one more time. Does anybody else have any questions? You can throw that in the chat. You can raise your hand. In the
Yeah, I love questions, so please feel free. There is no such thing as a stupid question. And I just can't wait to share with you. So if you're scared or worried to ask a question, now's your chance because I'm here for you.
All right.
All right.
All right, Monique, I love you. You're amazing. Thank you again for being here and bringing your love and energy into this space. And everybody that has attended here, thank you for taking the time to show up and be a part of our weekly EIN call. And for those of you that are watching the video of this, make sure you check the description of the video because that's where we're going to put the link to this gift, so you all can benefit from that too. So with that being said, Monique, you're the best. Can't wait to see you in person again and get that big hug that you
Yay!
give. And then we will see all of you next week on our next EIN call. Until then, have an amazing week and take care, everybody. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Mwah.
Mwah.
All right.
Bye.
Catch you later. Thank you, Becky. Take care, everybody.